Yo, what's up guys, my name's Hakiii, and in this video I'm gonna show you the fastest cars in GTA 5 Online. The top speed is key in this one, and we're not gonna pay attention to all the other stuff like handling and all that. That's not really relevant for this. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So we're not gonna be counting vehicles with boosts, for example the Vigilante, the Toreador, or the Rocket Voltic, vehicles like that, since the boost is basically like a cheat code here. But coming in at number 10 we have the Toros. And yeah, I know it's really surprising there's an SUV in the top 10 fastest cars in the game. I actually featured the Toros in the underrated car series if you guys remember that, and I did mention it is extremely fast. Like, the car straight flies, especially for an SUV. It is ridiculously fast. The highest top speed I managed to get with it was 127.2 miles per hour. When you start going really fast with it, it's easy to lose control, but if you're just going in a straight line with no bumps and no turns, it's gonna be good for that. And if it wasn't obvious enough, this is the #1 fastest SUV in terms of top speed, and its price tag is actually surprisingly cheap at just under $500,000 at $498,000. If you're looking for a surprisingly affordable SUV with great top speed and great looks, this is definitely the one. Also, if it reminds you of a Lamborghini, that's because it's actually based off of the Lamborghini Urus, so it's basically the Lamborghini SUV. Going into the next one, we have the X80 Proto. The X80's got one of the steeper price tags, if not the steepest price tag on this list. It comes in at $2.7 million, and I managed to get a top speed of 127.5 miles per hour. It's one of the more unique looking supercars in the game, so if you do want to buy it, definitely buy it for the looks of it and the top speed, and it also sounds really cool as well. It's got a really cool engine sound, so if the steep price tag doesn't raise an eyebrow for you, feel free to get this one. The 8th fastest car in the game is the Hakiii GTO. It's one of my go-to cars for sports races. It's a great overall car for races. It doesn't only shine in top speed. It falls just under 128 miles per hour, and you can buy it for just under $2 million. Another fairly high price tag, but I do think it's an overall better racing car than the X80 Proto, which costs $700K more, but they're not in the same vehicle class. One's a supercar and one's a sports car, but in terms of top speed, they're both top 5 best in their class. The Hakiii GTO is once again one of the best overall sports cars, and I'd highly recommend you guys get it. Besides the price of it, there aren't many cons to this vehicle. It's a lot of pros. Moving on to the Coquette D10. When this car first came out, I didn't think it was all that great, but apparently it's one of the fastest cars in the game, which I didn't know up until not too long ago. You can go and buy it in the Legendary Motorsport website for just over $1.5 million, and it's got a top speed of just under 130 miles per hour. This is yet another sports car, and it's one of the best looking sports cars in the game. Like, the stock wheels on it look good, and it's just got a very clean look to it. Coming in at number 6, we have the Banshee 900R. It's another car you wouldn't think is all that fast, especially since it's technically a Benny's vehicle. You can go and customize it in Benny's. Almost all Benny's vehicles are extremely slow. They're usually lowriders. A stock Banshee would cost $565,000, which is a pretty good price for the 6th fastest car in the game, and it's got a top speed of 131 miles per hour. It's not a new car whatsoever. It's been in the game forever. It didn't come out in any DLC. It's been in GTA 5 since launch, and this isn't even the first game it's been in. It's been in GTA 4, I know. So unlike a lot of the cars on this list, it's actually an OG one, and I mean, props to the Banshee for being in the game for so long and still being one of the fastest cars. Just before we get into the top 5, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to drop a like. That'd be awesome. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and drop a sub so you never miss any more videos like these. Join the Hakiii army, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell as well. And let's go into the top 5 now. At number 5 now, we have the Devastator. This came out in the Arena War update. Unlike some other cars on this list, it's actually really good for racing. I know it's some people's go-to car for supercar races. The Devastator's got a unique look to it, kind of like the X80 Proto. They're both really unique looking supercars. You can buy it for just under $1.8 million, which I think is actually somewhat of a fair price. Unlike the X80 Proto, for example, which I think is a little bit too steep of a price, I think you're getting a good looking supercar with great performance, including top speed, of course. And speaking of top speed, it's got a top speed of just under 132 miles per hour, which is currently the 2nd highest top speed among all supercars, and that's because the fastest supercar in the game is the 811. When you first look at the 811, you wouldn't think it's the fastest supercar in the game. I mean, it doesn't look like anything super crazy. It just doesn't look like a super menacing and cool looking supercar. It just looks pretty basic, to be honest. It doesn't really look like a supercar as a whole, to be honest. It just looks like maybe a little more sporty looking sedan, really. At least to me it doesn't, because for example, when you compare it to, let's say, the Wagner is a really menacing looking supercar, and the 811 doesn't look nearly as nice as the Wagner. But enough talking crap about the 811's looks. We're gonna focus on the top speed in this video, and the top speed is the highest among all supercars in the game once again. It comes in at 132.5 miles per hour. This relatively small car absolutely flies. You're not going to want to use this vehicle going around a lot of corners, but if you're doing something that requires a lot of just going straight, you are going to want to use the 811. I remember buying this car for the very first time back when it came out in 2016, and it's pretty impressive. It managed to stay within the top 5 fastest cars in the game, and it comes in at a price of $1,135,000. I think that's a relatively fair price. You're paying mainly for great top speed, but that's pretty much it. I guess if you like the looks of the car, you're buying it also for the looks, but I'm not a huge fan of the looks. I guess the engine in the back of the car is pretty cool, but besides that, yeah. Moving into the top 3 now, we have the Hakiii RSX. This car is absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite looking cars in the game. I think it looks stunning. This car is one of the newer cars on this list. It came out in the Cayo Perico heist. It's still somewhat recent compared to the other cars on the list. When it first came out, the entire map was snowy because it was Christmas time, so I had a little bit of trouble actually testing it out in free mode, but it wasn't too difficult to notice. This is one of the fastest cars in the game. It's got a crazy top speed of over 135 miles per hour. The big drawback with it is the price. It comes in at a steep $3,465,000. If money in GTA isn't a problem for you, that's great. If it is, you're gonna need to save up for a while. And you'd be surprised to know this is only the 3rd fastest sports car in the game, and I guess the 3rd fastest overall car. It's crazy to think the 3 fastest cars in the game are all sports cars, and no supercars are in the top 3. So moving on to number 2, we have the Ariah. Its top speed is 136 miles per hour, so just a little higher than the RSX's. Personally, I'm not really a fan of the acceleration and a little bit of the handling, so I don't really use it in races, but once again, if you're doing something that requires just going straight or just cruising on the highway without a lot of major turns, the Ariah would be really good for it. And finally, it comes in at $1,420,000. So going into the ultimate number 1 spot on this list, that is going to be the Calico. Now, there's actually something you need to do to it to actually make it the fastest car. The Calico being fully upgraded alone isn't actually the fastest car. You actually need to do specific things, and after doing the things I'll show you in a sec, it is going to be ridiculously fast, probably faster than like 150, maybe 160 miles per hour. So you do want to have it fully upgraded, and then you guys want to take the Calico to the LS car meet and go in the vehicle customization corner, and you guys want to put the low grip tires on it. And after putting the low grip tires on it, you guys want to go outside with it, and you guys just want to stance your car. If you don't know how to do that, just pull up the interaction menu, go into vehicles and go into vehicle stance, and then put it on lowered, and you guys will see your car is going to be extremely fast going in a straight line. It's going to destroy all the competition. Like literally no one's going to come even close to you if you're just drag racing or something like that. I don't know if it's something that's meant to be fixed or it's just going to stay like this, but you're definitely going to be zooming across the map doing this. The Calico comes in at just under $2 million. It came out in the Los Santos Tuners DLC, so it's actually the newest car out of all the cars on this list. It does have this cool little trick you could do with it to make it the fastest. Those are the fastest vehicles in GTA 5 Online. Let me know which one is your favorite, which ones you do have, which ones you don't and you might get soon. I hope you all did go on to enjoy this video. Hopefully it did go on to help you out. If it did, drop a like on it, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on the notification bell as well. Anyway though, this has been Hakiii. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.